Great crowds, record numbers on hand, not only for the local team that plays, the Clinton team, which is 30 miles away and has drawn the record crowds, but 5,000 to 6,000 people for the games played today at Volunteer Stadium, and big crowds at Lamity Stadium up the hill.
Kids have put on some great shows, and I think people are returning to see the fantastic ability and the way these kids have been handling this game.
That ball's going to be popped up shallow center, and that's going to be a base hit. So Anthony Martinez leads it off for Huntington Beach with a base hit in the second inning.
The ball wouldn't hit that hard. It was hitting the exact right place. It's a nice swing. Just jammed him a little bit. Ended up fooling the center fielder, Trey Wills.
Justin Siaka with a runner at first.
Ball.
And we'll take the pitch outside for a ball. 0 for 2 for the second baseman in game number 1.
Here we go.
One 0 pitch to him, and that'll be fouled back off the screen. Siaka's a 13-year-old Angels fan out of Huntington Beach. Team has scored a lot of runs, but had close games in the regionals. Comeback win, as we told you, in game 6, their championship game in the regional play. So, I mean, they've done it both ways. They've played the tight games and been able to win, and they've had others where they've outscored opponents, as they did in the 11-0 win against Rhode Island in their first game here in the Little League World Series. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery by Bates.
Well, our research department and some of our people that did the regional games said there was going to be a lot of parity in the U.S. side of the bracket. I think they were right, but they also said that the California team might have the best balance of power and pitching and defensive ability. And it looks like their scouting report has been right.
Huntington Beach with a runner on at first and a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Siaka will take the big counted miss. First strikeout for Bates.
Jacob Bates not backing down at all. Good little 2-seam fastball on the inner half, sneaks it by him.
And a strike on the outside corner. Braden Salzman. Salzman, the catcher, a 1 for 3 against Rhode Island. And he'll foul that back again late on the fastball delivered by Jacob Bates.
His nickname is El Caballo, meaning the horse in Spanish. Behind the plate, you've got to be tough and strong, especially today with
I got 2 strikes, 0-2.
Hagen Danner on the mound.
Here we go. Time. We ready, 1-8?
And for those of you just joining us here at the Little League World Series at Volunteer Stadium, game 3 of the day, California, Kentucky, no score. We are in the top of the second inning with Huntington Beach, California at the plate. A runner on at first base, Anthony Martinez, and 1 down. On the mound, Jacob Bates is working for Grange, Kentucky. That'll go towards second, off the glove of Larimore, and a base hit. And no play at second as Martinez moves in. Salzman a single, 2 on and 1 away. Both of these teams have 1-0 records. And earlier today, Montana, the 3-1 win over Louisiana. They move on to the winner's bracket, play the winner of this Kentucky-California game. The loser of this one plays Georgia, and we already know Louisiana will be playing Pennsylvania in an elimination game on Monday at 8. One of the other advantages of living with a win is you get the extra day. You don't have to play the next day, and for pitching purposes, that is very important.
Here we go.
You get your aces back quicker with the Little League rules about how many days you have to take off depending on how many pitchers are thrown in a game. 2 on. And 1 away, and the pitch will be taken. Jason Mayorga, 1 for 2, the right fielder.
That Montana team, it's their first appearance from Montana in the Little League World Series, and they are the 6th U.S. team to win 2 in a row in their first appearance here.
And they are, I mean, fair to say, an underdog team. They came in with not knowing a lot about them. Doesn't mean they aren't good, but,
And 1 ball, 2 strikes.
they came in and there wasn't a lot expected, and all of a sudden Billings, Montana's got a club in that everyone's taking a second look at. Pitch is going to miss inside. Mayorga takes it, and the count will be even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talking about the balance of this California team, in the regionals, they hit .351 as a team, and their ERA was .53. That'll be grounded to the hole. That's going to be a base hit. And making the turn and going back to load the bases up is Anthony Martinez. Single for Mayorga to load him up.
Here comes California. 11 runs against Rhode Island, and now they're setting the table for an inning here. This ball just squeaking by. They haven't hit the ball super hard, but they're finding the holes.
So a little discussion now. This is Brad Bates. Jacob Bates, his son, on the mound. You see the Little League World Series and in the Mohawk haircut off to the right there. Now you see it.
That's Jackson Mason, the catcher. And that was very popular because of Griffin McClarty, the first baseman tonight, but he threw a shutout, struck out 12, and also only walked 1 in front of 41,848 people. And Jackson was the catcher that night, and that big. There's Griffin, who has been a superstar here, hit a home run, 12 Ks, and threw a shutout against Pennsylvania.
Huntington Beach has loaded them up with only 1 away. They'll play in at first and third.
Ball.
Pitch is inside. Dylan Palmer, third baseman, did not have an official at bat in the first game, even though he came to the plate. He had a 4 for 9 in the regionals with 3 RBIs. Big chance for California. 1-0 is fouled off. Sacks full and only 1 out, top of the order, waiting on deck.
They're playing in on the corners, and they're playing double play depth up the middle. Confident that they can turn 2.
I have 1s now, 1s. Here we go.
See, 6 for 16, 8 RBIs, runners in scoring position for them. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And a ground ball again towards second base. Knocked down Larimore. Can't play it. 1 run in. Second run coming. Salzman will score, and the runners at third and first. And Palmer delivers. Got that ball in play. That's what you got to do to make things happen. An error will be charged on Larimore, but credit Palmer with getting the bat on it.
Solid contact. Actually hit this ball harder than some of the hits that have happened. This would have been a 2-hopper through the infield. Larimore tries to get over there in front of it, does a good job with his legs, just misses his glove, and the West fans go wild for a couple tallies.
2-0 lead for Huntington Beach. An error and 1 RBI will be credited on the play. First and third, and that'll be fouled back by Hagen Danner, the pitcher who hits in the leadoff spot. So first runs on the board go to Huntington Beach, California. Helped out by an error on a tough play for Larimore at second base. Here's the 0-1, and that's towards the middle. That's going to go through under McKinney's glove. A run will score. That'll be an RBI base hit for Danner, and it is a 3-0 lead.
They're starting to make better contact, hit the ball a little harder, but they're also still finding the holes. Hagen Danner, one of the best hitters and best pitchers on this West team from California. You do that in Little League, leading those guys off because you only play 6 innings. You want your best bats to get up as soon as possible. You don't want them in the on-deck circle or sitting on the bench at the end of the game.
And they're still only one away. And the second conference taking place. Jacob Bates, the pitcher, running into some problems here in the second inning. Tell you, but California's putting some offense down here. And we will get a pitching change as Larimore is going to come on and do the pitching while California will try and continue and make it a big second. Takada hitting for Anthony Martinez, who singled and scored in his at bat, and will reach on a walk. Take a look at our brackets with the results today. Montana getting the 3-1 win over Louisiana. They will wait the winner of this game, Kentucky, California. In the elimination bracket, the loser of this will play Georgia, and Louisiana is going to play Pennsylvania. Those are elimination games that will be coming up tomorrow. Double elimination here at the Little League World Series. So one of these teams will be entering the elimination bracket and the other moving on. Beautiful sight right there. Sunset time after a day where there's been a few sprinkles and a good deal of clouds. What a beautiful evening. 75 degrees when we started the game. This is Christian Catano coming off the bench.
Well, Christian went 2 for 2 with a run scored against Rhode Island. See that dirt bike riding? I'm a little allergic to that after last year's accident that I had. Gary?
She can't understand that.
Plate and 8 screws in the left arm and a punctured right knee. It didn't feel real good.
So much for dirt bike riding, eh?
Yeah, the wife's not letting me on the bike anymore.
One smart member of the family.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 and 2.
A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Third inning of our 6th inning ball game. Huntington Beach, California beat Rhode Island 11-0, while Grange Kentucky had the 1-0 win over Pennsylvania. The Keystone Little League, only 30 miles away in their first game with the big record crowd. That'll be bloop to second base and started back, and a nice play by Nick McKenney to get back and haul it in. One away. Little League World Series tomorrow, big day. ESPN2, ESPN on Monday noon. It's Rapid City, South Dakota, Aruba, ESPN2. Eastern time at 2 o'clock on ESPN, Canada, Chinese Taipei. 4 ESPN, Warner Robins faces the loser of this game. Then at 6 ESPN2, Saudi Arabia, the loser of Japan, Mexico. 8 o'clock, it's the locals back. Clinton County, Pennsylvania, Lafayette, Louisiana. A very big day, 5 games to be played tomorrow, and we are going to get a pitching change here.
Oh, with the pitch count at 19 pitches, anything under 20, no days rest required. And if Kentucky is thinking about moving on, and maybe they're not giving up in this game, but they want to save their pitchers for future games in case this turns into a loss. So we stopped at 19. No rest period needed. 21 to 35, 1 day rest. 36 up, 2 days rest. You see the 3 days at 51, the 4 days at 66, and the maximum pitch is 85. The only way you go through that is if you hit 85 in the batter that you hit it with. You can finish the batter.
McClarty, of course, the primary pitcher, their big star, will hit the home run and shut out Pennsylvania in that first game. If Kentucky wins, they will play Montana Wednesday. He's eligible to pitch Wednesday. If they lose, they will play Georgia tomorrow. He would not be eligible to pitch in that game. And we don't want to make it seem as though he's the only kid playing on this team, but he is their major star. And against Pennsylvania, a magnificent 12 strikeout performance.
Yeah, he silenced the crowd of 41,848 against the Pennsylvania team. He performed unbelievable in what most would perceive as a very high pressure situation. What would be perceived as a hostile situation too.
So a runner on at first base, 1 away. Here is Trey Willis to do the pitching. And a ground ball towards the hole. That is going to be a base hit. Picked up by DeBrosio. Get it into second base. So Salzman is on a 2-for-2 ball game. 2 singles. Takata stops at second base. 2 on, 1 away. And that will be hit number 8. There you see the 13-year-old coming on to take care of the relief work.
Trey Wills, the lefty, and he has pitched in the regionals. Not yet here at Williamsport, other than that pitch we just saw.
Pinch hitter is Eric Anderson. So they've got 3 players in to get their at-bats in this inning. Anderson will foul the pitch back.
No.
Eric Anderson was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs, and that 1 hit was a double against Rhode Island. You see, he'd love to meet Ichiro. Ichiro still one of the most popular players of the top 5 or so that all these kids vote on.
Late on the fastball.
Derek Jeter win it this year?
Derek Jeter won it. He was number 1 overall.
He was number 2. I can't remember. Ichiro was on there.
1-2 delivery is going to be outside. 5 runs on 8 hits in this ball game for California as they continue their offensive ways in their second game, picking up those 11 runs in the first one. 2-2 delivery, and that's towards second base. Good knockdown. Play will be made at first. Larimore then over to third, trying to catch the runner going around the bag. Almost.
Stay there, Rio.
Jacob Bates with a throw, and a pretty good one.
Hey, way to get the hand in. You got screwed right there.
That was a good swing right there. 1 hopper, and you know, a nice play to take the sure out there to get the second out. Maybe think about going for a double play, but the speed that this California team has is going to be real hard to double them up. 4 to 6 to 3. You might get one at 6 to 4 to 3.
And we'll get another pinch hitter. This is Jack Fury. He had the 0 for 2 in the opener. He's up with runners on at second and third and 2 down. So this is a big at bat, with Huntington Beach leading it by a score of 5-0. And the pitch up high. A base hit here would add a couple more runs.
Yeah, we talked about Trey Wills. He pitched in 2 games in the regionals and did not give up a run. 2 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts. He's trying to put a 0 up right here.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Anthony Martinez, who drew a walk, the lead runner at third base, and Brandon Salzman, who delivered a single, is on at second. 2-1. Stepped back and fouled it off. And Trey Willis gets the count evened up.
I have 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2. There we go. Done.
The ball gets away.
Still away.
I don't know. We're all set here, gentlemen. Batter, please.
We have caught a break with the weather today, haven't we? We've had some threatening skies around us all day, but gotten to play.
2-2 delivery. There's a lot of rain to the south, and then it veered off to the north.
3-2.
And a couple of sprinkles is all that occurred here in South Williamsport. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and he gets the big strikeout. So Trey Wills gets it done. This ferry goes down. And for those of you watching on ESPN, stay with us for more action after this break. For those of you on ESPN Classic, you will return to your regularly scheduled program. Out here after losing their first game in the regionals to Indiana in pool play, and then they won 5 straight to make it to Williamsport. So they've come back before. Eric Anderson will get it back in, and that is a leadoff single for Jacob Bates. National League Central, the great rivalry between the Cardinals and the Cubs. It'll continue. Sunday night baseball, Cardinals and Cubs coming up, presented by Taco Bell at 8 Eastern. Cardinals, Cubs.
Westbrook against Lopez.
My Bubby is what, 26? All right, who's 26? Let's figure it out.
Maybe it was
16? Oh, sorry. Sorry, my Bubby is 16. Trey Wills? I think so, from Kentucky. Trey Wills, who's been doing the pitching.
It's the only 16 on my score sheet. Either team.
We're going to go with it. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Here's the 1-1, and a strike on the outside corner.
1-2.
Kentucky's been able to get some runners on base. They've had some traffic. They just haven't been able to drive anybody in.
4 have been left on, and late on the fastball.
Play that one. Play that one. Throw it in.
3 walks, 2 hits, 5 runners.
0 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far in the ball game for Kentucky. Clardy waiting on it, and foul tipped into the mitt. Little League, the world's largest organized youth sports program. 2.5 million kids, 50 states, 80 other countries. You can get stats, scores, information, learn how to start a Little League baseball and softball program in your community by going to littleleague.org. Do not have any of the ladies playing on any of the teams we have in Little League World Series history. We do have one of the women umpires, though. Nancy Prieto is here working. She is, that's what she does. She major softball league umpire and some baseball, working the Little League.
And she's not here on our particular field, but she is here in Williamsport. Already done a few games. Did a game behind the plate. Our second all-time international female umpire.
1 away and a 2-strike count. Jackson Mason, a strikeout victim, his first time up. That big fastball, a bounce at third base, gloved. Takata, nice pick at first by Prado. Rio Takata at third base. Throw was a little low after he made the nice pickup. He got a little help from his first baseman, Nick Prado.
Takata does a nice job charging this chopper and then squares his feet up and guns it over to first. I'll tell you what, Nick Prado at first, though, makes a nice pick. You see very smooth, very calm. Good footwork by Mr. Takata. Nice glove work by Mr. Prado.
And this is where Kentucky needs to find a big hit. Just to get things going, get on the board. 2 down runner at second. Larimore takes the strike on the outside corner. Brad Larimore looking for his first hit here in the Little League World Series. Down on the count, 0-2.
He's had a lot of responsibilities today, playing a little second base, pitch. Now he's up there with a man in scoring position. You gotta love being involved.
0 for 5 tonight, 0 for 8 in
1 and 2.
First 2 games with runners in scoring position. 1 and 2, runner at second. That'll skip to the backstop.
Ball in the well, third base only.
And a 1 base wild pitch.
Second time we've had a ball in the well here tonight.
Right there. There's not a lot of room to get a ball to go through. This one made it.
Get ready for this one, Ray. There you go. Souvenir.
Hiding.
Yeah.
Nice scoop on that one. Salzman prevents the run from scoring as he backhanded that one behind the plate and will hold the runner at third base, Jacob Bates. Full count, 3-2. 2 down. Hagen Danner trying to end it right here. Down the line in right field. Butkowski is over and he's got it. So no runs hit. Base runner left on at third. We've completed 3 6 innings in our regulation game, and California leads at 5-0.
The World
Little League World Series.
With the bases loaded, a grand slam. Jorge Pogel strikes out 12.
Japan and Mexico at Lavity Stadium next door. There you're looking live in as they get ready for a matchup of a couple of very good traditional Little League programs in the two countries. And both of those teams won their openers. Japan leads the all-time series. Japan defeated Mexico twice, 2010 to the title, and Mexico in the international championship will win in 08.
So many of the international teams measure themselves against Japan, so it's always a big rivalry when they're involved in a game.
Heads up, heads up.
We go to the fourth inning as Huntington Beach will try and add to their lead. Hagen Danner, the pitcher, single, run scored. Ground ball to third, just off Lowry's glove, and Danner will reach. Error will be called on it to get the runner on. Venezuela beat Canada today, so they are 2-0. Canada 1-1. Just didn't get the glove down quite far enough. Montana got a 3-1 win, edging Louisiana today. Popped up, shortstop.
The catch.
Clardy's there to get it. Windish is retired. One away.
And we'll bring up number 25, Nick Prado.
Here's Nick Prado, their number 3 hitter. He had a 2 RBI double in his last at bat. Single in the at bat before that. So Prado coming in with 3 hits and 6 at bats in the Little League World Series, and he has picked up 3 RBI as well. Trey Wills delivers to him, and it's outside. Runner at first, 1 out.
You know, as the internationals measure themselves against Japan year in and year out, the U.S. side really measures itself against the West, and specifically California. The winner of the West region has advanced to the Little League World Series championship game in each of the last 3 seasons and won the Little League World Series twice in Hawaii, California, and Hawaii.
There certainly have been plenty of opportunities to compare because California is forever sending a team here. That is a foul ball that just missed going fair. And that's because of all the baseball that gets played in California with all that great weather. Last regions in the Little League World Series, last 3 years in the West.
California's 21 appearances in the Little League World Series title game are the most of any U.S. state or any country all time. That's appearances, not titles.
Yep. That'll go to first. 1 there. Relay to first base will skip away. The runner got tripped up. Prado looks as though he is all right, though. The force out at second base on Hagen Danner on the 3-6. And Prado's on at first base.
There's nice athletic ability by Nick Prado down there to avoid the collision. Very headsy play. They go 3-6, and then the relay comes back, and it gets a little confusing when we slip on the base, when Bates slips on the base, but Prado did a nice job avoiding him and jumping over and rolling.
Gutowski's going to get a base hit into left field, and it gets through the wickets on Nichols, so the runners will move up second and third. Gutowski will be credited with a single. That is his second Little League World Series hit, and the first in this ball game. A single and an error on the left fielder.
Steven hits this ball really well. Ball is smoked. If he gets that up in the air, it's a home run. He hit it on the line drive, got himself a base hit.
Here's Takata.
Jackson.
Takata came off the bench and drew a walk in the 3rd inning and was left stranded. 5 runs on 9 hits for Huntington Beach. No runs on 2 hits for Kentucky. And that's going to be in the gap. That'll go all the way to the wall. 2 runs will easily score, and it'll be a stand-up double. Takata with a big hit, and it's 7-0.
He smoked this ball his first at bat today. He walked, but in the first game against Rhode Island, he was 1 for 2 with a double. Now he's 1 for 1 with a double and 2 RBIs in this game. Some awesome Williamsport memories.
And another base hit into right field. Christian Catano, he'll get an RBI, he'll get a double, and it's an 8-0 ball game.
It's like a pop station. The hits just keep on coming for California. It's a good little strike right there, trying to pound the strike zone, keep your defense in the game. This ball's smoked, though, in the gap for a double.
5 runs in the second inning, 3 more added here in the fourth. Trey Wills with a meeting at the mound. This Huntington Beach, California team starts throwing the baseball, starts hitting the baseball rather. Look out. I mean, they come up and they're first ball hitting on these pitches here in the inning, and they're doing this with 2 down.
Yeah, their offense has been prolific. They have outscored their opponents so far in this Little League World Series 19-0.
2 down to first, just missed. Salzman at the plate. Braden Salzman, who delivered single and scored in the second, single stranded in the third. Kentucky relying on pitching and defense to play and stay in games and win. They did not commit an error in their 1-0 victory over Pennsylvania in the first game. Tonight, Kentucky's been charged with 3 errors, and there are so far 5 unearned runs. 5 of the 8 are unearned. And you can see how aggressive these Huntington Beach kids are going at it. There's the 10-run rule. We are in the fourth inning, so if they got 10 runs or more, Kentucky would be facing possibility of only 1 more at bat. That'll be blooped foul.
Yeah, they would get their last at bat in the bottom of the fourth. This is a blessing and a miracle. Line drive back.
Hit the bill of the cap. Amazing. Right there. And it goes to second base. Throw to first, not in time. Another run will score. And down to second base on the air goes Salzman. And it's 9-0.
I don't know if it'll be a hit and an error or a straight error. We'll have to see.
The defense of Kentucky just failing them here so far in this game.
Trey Wills doing a good job, keeps throwing strikes out there, let the defense do the work, but right here just ranging to his right, an outstanding job getting there. It's the tough play to finish the throw.
Here we go.
Straight error, no RBI. Second baseman. Now a runner at second base, and still 2 down. And again, going through the order, Jason Mayorga, who started the game, picked up a single, came out. Now is back in the ball game.
I got 3.
Those of you maybe just joining us, California putting up some numbers here. 9-0 over Kentucky. We're playing in the fourth inning, and it's going to be a 10-0 ball game. That ball is going to go all the way to the wall. Mayorga will get an RBI and a double. And this team from Huntington Beach, California, they got 5 runs in the second inning. They now have 5 runs here in the fourth inning. On 12 hits, 10 runs.
And one of the most talented teams we've seen here in Williamsport, with one of the most dominant pitchers, Hagen Danner. It's a nice combination to have this much length and depth to your offense, and then have some people that can dominate on the mound.
So again, as they did in the second inning, they have batted around. Palmer down to third. Got a long throw and a good one made. Justin Lowry. But the 10-run rule is now in effect, which means as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning, Kentucky is going to have to find a way to get at least a run. For those of you watching on ESPN, we are going to send you off to baseball tonight. For those of you who want to see the rest of this game, stay with us on ESPN2. California's got the 10-0 lead. Little League, the world's largest organized youth sports program. There are 2.5 million kids playing in 50 states, 80 other countries. You can get information, stats, and stories. Learn how to start a Little League baseball, softball program by going to littleleague.org. So Kentucky is down to the final out to work with in this game with the 10-run rule in effect here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Ball.
Outside for a ball. This is Justin Lowry. Lowry, their only substitute player on a bench of 1. 1-0 delivery to him, and Lowry will take it for a strike. Here's the 1-1.
Ball. 2-1.
Two down, nobody on. Two, and the pitch will be swung out and missed. 2-2. Now this Huntington Beach team from California putting up some mighty impressive numbers. No runs, 3 hits in the first game. So far, no runs, 2 hits in the second game. First game, even though they won it, the 11-0 game, it was a 6-inning ball game. This game may end
I
up
still have 2s.
being a 4-inning game.
Everybody ready?
Those are major differentials you're looking at right there. Here's the 2-2, and that's it. In a 10-run rule game, Huntington Beach, California will get the win and go 2-0. And Grange Kentucky, they will be 1-1.
An impressive performance by the West. Kentucky showed themselves very, very well against Pennsylvania, but just ran into a barn burner right here. But they'll get another chance. They're not knocked out or eliminated. It takes 2 losses to do that.
When we come back, we'll take a look at what today's play and this game means for the future games for these two teams. And we welcome you back to our coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And the final in a 10-run rule game is 10-0 as the team from Huntington Beach, California comes away with it, and impressively so. Let's take a look at our Kellogg's Frosted Flakes moments of the game.
You have to think about Hagen Tanner on the mound. 3 innings pitched, 60 pitches. A few too many walks, 3, but he was dominant when he had the ball over the plate. 5 Ks. You see the little wrinkle in that one. He has been dominant since the regionals. Now a total of 13 innings pitched with 28 Ks from the regional to here.
Now you take a look at what it means. The games today, Montana beat Louisiana, and with a win by Kentucky, it'll be Montana, California playing on Wednesday at 8 on ESPN. And the elimination bracket, it's now Georgia. It'll be taking on Kentucky and Louisiana and Pennsylvania. And you talk about a dominating performance. Now in this Little League World Series, California's 21-zip outscoring opponents. They haven't committed an error. Their team batting average is .426.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of the players played on this team last year when they lost the regional finals to Hawaii. They've really relayed that experience to this team. So it's not only a team with talent, but some veteran leadership that looks like they're going to be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, they are a very talented team. And we talked about how parity has been the word around most of the teams. This is the exception, and they're proving it to be so.
Definitely the exception on the U.S. side of the bracket. I'd say on the international side, we're going to see a good game tonight with Japan and Mexico. The Venezuela team looks like they're coming together. They were a little rusty. They had 27 days off, but now they're 2-0 on that side of the bracket, and they're looking like they're starting to put it together.
So it'll be an interesting matchup with Montana being kind of the underdog that's slid their way in here with a 2-0. And not that they're not good, but just not a lot known about them, and this California team putting up the big numbers.
Yeah, and any team that is 2-0 is 1 one win away from their championship bracket there to get through the U.S. side or the international side. So these teams know that the pressure starts to mount because the crown gets closer and closer.
Yep. All right, take a look once again. The final line in this one, it all went to Huntington Beach, California, as they come away with the victory in this. And indeed, that is exactly what they did. They would add 2 more in that second inning, batting around, picking up 5 runs, and then did it again in the 4th inning when they added 5 more and they batted around. And ultimately, California, 10 runs on 12 hits, winning it over Kentucky by a score of 10-0 into the 10-run rule. The kids from California are standing by. They're going to be joining Oral and Company when we come back.
We have one American powerhouse with us right now, don't we? From the beaches of California, the West Region champions have put up 21 runs. They've yet to be scored upon, and they join Oral and I. Let's start with Hagen Danner. He was the ace on the mound today. How'd you feel out there?
Just comfortable the whole game. At the start of the game, I was a little uncomfortable, like the mound. I was slipping on the mound. Then at the end, like when I came out, it just felt like I pitched a great game. Like I just knew that I pitched a good game. That's it.
That was a great visit by Coach Tony to tell you to come out there and have you guys throw the ball right down the middle, just get ahead, and that seemed to settle you down. You struck out the side after walking those first 2 hitters in that inning.
Yeah.
What adjustment did you make?
Just my dad always says to tell me to put my left foot or keep my left foot on the mound instead of lifting it up early, and that's what I did, and it makes me throw harder and it just makes me more accurate.
It's awesome.
That is fine advice. We also have Christian Catano, part of the offense. Who wasn't part of the offense with this team today? Fine playing out there. How's it feel to you now that you're 2 games into the tournament, you're 2-0, your team's settling in? What's your take on it?
We feel really good that we can win this whole thing.
Wow, pretty confident.
Wow, well said. Are you going to go in and watch Japan and Mexico? They look pretty strong as well.
They're probably one of the 2 best teams, I think.
And who would be the other best team? Yourselves, of course, right?
Yeah.
You have a very strong region and a great tradition. Oral touched on it. Many of the most recent American champs come from your region. How aware are you, all of you as a team, of what your region has done before you? Christian?
We're aware that the West, some of the best teams that have ever been here from the West, just like Chula Vista a couple years ago.
How was your guys' region as far as the competition there compared to what you've seen here in Williamsport?
They're
What do you think?
all right. They weren't. I mean, I have to give credit to most of the teams, but I think we should have been better. Like in the last game, I think we came in there we thought we were gonna cream them or something. So I think that's why it was such a close game.
Let's talk to somebody else. Who's this over here?
I have Braden Salzman, who's had the highlight
my gosh,
of the
the miracle
tournament.
child.
Here's the hat that saved his little life. How are you feeling today?
Good.
Tell us, we've seen that shot so many times. Here it is again.
It's laughable now, but it was.
He couldn't look. You can't look. What was your thought when you felt it?
I thought that I would have to come back up and pitch and try to do my best.
Did it feel like it hit your head? Could you tell it hit your hat?
No, I couldn't feel that it hit my head.
Anything like that ever happened to you before?
No.
When you hit the ground, did you have to make sure you were still with us?
Yeah, I had to check for sure.
We're glad he's still with us, and he continued on pitching. What a brave little guy.
You know who they see next? They see Montana, and from what I understand, you became friends with Montana at the regional. Somebody want to tell me how that came about?
Go. How'd you become friends with Montana?
Well, they were our room partners in regionals.
Yeah.
And they would always come over to our house, and we had a TV. And
just hang out?
Yeah, they'd hang out like most of the time. And then we flew together. We spent like 10, 15 hours on the plane and driving over here.
Are you guys close to them at the Grove?
We talk to them every once in a while. Not much because we're not like bunking with each other anymore. But we all hang out with each other every once in a while, though.
That's awesome. What's your most interesting thing that you guys have done?
Going out to watch the games.
Love the games.
Yeah.
They love baseball. When you're champs, you love baseball.
Yeah, it's always good. And they love signing autographs and asking for autographs. That's been part of it. Trading pins. Are you into the whole atmosphere? Little bit?
I'm not.
We're going to get the answer to that after this break.
All right, let's get it back. And then we'll take it back. We're going to look at some of the other teams who advanced today when we come right back. Coming up, it's Japan and Mexico. That's next. Two of the international powers, including the defending champion. That's next on ESPN2.
Amazing, Chris.
Venezuela, one of the teams advancing today. First, some good defense, good athletes on that Canada team.
Ian Burns and then Nick Prieto there, Venezuela, not to be outdone at first base, but then these blasts from
Yoni Hernandez.
Absolutely amazing. A big league swing with big league power. Pretty nice catch by the fan out there in left field.
And then Prieto, and then we're in the sixth.
Nick Prieto there. That's Hernandez. The Prieto at first base, those were back-to-back. And then Hernandez, he comes back with another one.
Another two-run shot. Venezuela, along with South Dakota, a couple of the teams, they each have 4 home runs in the tournament. Venezuela advancing easily over Canada today. It's an 8-0 win as Hernandez was 3 for 4. So there you see Venezuela waiting the winner of Mexico and Japan. And the winner of that game will advance to the championship game of the international bracket. That's coming up on Wednesday at 4 Eastern time. Montana and Louisiana. Montana came into the tournament looking for the first win ever in state history. Now they have 2.
Two, and that's the 6th U.S. team ever in their first appearance to get 2, and the last 4 won it all.
And this is some solid defense as well.
Well, the Cardiac Louisiana kids, they came back, the Cardiac Cajuns, they looked like they were going to give them a scare. Montana got the scare, but they also got the win. This was a run, but it wasn't going to be enough. Look at this right here. That foot just gets in there for Louisiana to get the run. Montana held them off at the end. Sean Jones on the mound right here. But Zimmer, the starting pitcher, got the final out to lock it up to 2-0.
Some tough base running there from Louisiana. Zimmer said he was shocked when he looked up with the ball. And there it was, the final out, and the starting pitcher made it. So it's Montana advancing to the U.S. bracket semifinals. An amazing run for a team making its debut.
Yeah, and they're going to be watching those highlights from the California team. That's going to make you a little scared. But Montana, 2-0. They're going to come in with some confidence.
And that's still to come. That, too, is coming up on Wednesday. And we continue on ESPN2. It's Japan and